Hello everybody, this is Napa Fan here, and I'm bringing you the second episode of 9Cents, my new little NASCAR podcast kind of thing. I don't really want to call it that because we got another podcast going on with Marty called Full Throttle. That's coming up soon on Napa Fan. First episode's already up if you want to watch that on Marty's channel. But enough about that. Daytona 500 just occurred not too long ago, and let me tell you, you never assume anything before a sporting event, and this race definitely showed us why you should not listen to the keyboard warriors of NASCAR on Twitter. But either way, I think it was a great race. It kind of had a mediocre ending, but still, they definitely showed us that they can race. They had a will to race, and kudos to Jim France there for telling the drivers before the race to spice it up a little bit. He obviously listens to everyone who was complaining, and rightfully so. I definitely agree. Want to see some good racing. That's what all those fans came to see. However, it comes with a price, and to any of you guys who are not complaining about all the cars torn up, you asked for it. Yeah, it was a lot of wrecks at the end of that race. The Boyer one was excessively stupid, but the other ones, kind of just racing incidents there, especially Menard and DiBenedetto. That one hurt a lot of people. And a lot of people were not happy about that one, including myself. But hey, you know what? You should not go into the Daytona 500 and expect a clean race. Nobody should be surprised by what we saw. And to be quite fair, Denny Hamlin, very rightfully so, deserved that victory, especially with the passing of J.D. Gibbs and all that. It was very fitting for that to happen nonetheless. So congratulations to Denny Hamlin on his second Daytona 500 victory. Joe Gibbs Racing, great to see that for those guys after the passing of J.D. Gibbs, of course, and hey, I was entertained. It was definitely a fun Daytona 500, but after the second red flag, I'm like, come on, let's get this over with. So yeah, a little bit of a review of the race. It started out, and instantly they were racing. They obviously knew that people were not happy about the Xfinity race the day before, so they wanted to make sure that they raced it out very well for the fans, and they did. And I think a lot of it had to do with the heat. Brad Keselowski said at the beginning of the race that it was probably going to be a very intense race because of the heat and the handling issues that come along with a hot race like today at Daytona. There was a little bit of single file throughout the race, but I think it was all very normal, especially when had that differing strategy. I think one of the best things of this entire race was Matt DiBenedetto leading. I think he might have led the most laps in the race, which is definitely a great sign, I think, throughout the entire season. He was working well with all the Gibbs guys, and of course, who doesn't like Matt DiBenedetto? If you don't, I don't know what your problem is, but it was pretty cool to see that, and he probably would have had a good chance of winning had he not got wrecked by Menard. But, when it comes to a race like the Daytona 500, like I said, you cannot expect a clean race, and unfortunately we didn't get one, but like I said, that's what you get when you want them to race side by side, which is why I actually do applaud the Xfinity guys for doing what they did. They raced a very clean race, and they saved a lot of bucks for those teams, and I think, in this day and age of NASCAR, that's very important. So, I don't like seeing racing like that, but on the same side, I understand why they do it, and it should be respected. But either way, stages happened. Kyle Busch, Ryan Blaney won the stages, and for the first 190 laps of that race, other than Rick Ware Racing doing an oopsie, I don't know what that was. It was a very clean race, and I actually was really hoping it would stay that way to the end. But Paul Menard had different ideas, and with Paul Menard, don't get mad at him at all. He didn't do anything wrong. All he did was just, not do a good job. He ran right in the Matt DiBenedetto, trying to push him. He was trying to help him for crying out loud, and he helped him a little too much. And around went the 95, and then it's a pretty big wreck. I was watching it with my folks, and they both were like, I have never seen a wreck that big in my life. Of course, they haven't seen near as many races as I have, but they were pretty impressed with that. I wasn't, of course. I was upset the fact that DiBenedetto, especially David Reagan, Eric Almirola, those are three of my favorite guys, and they all got involved and knocked out after that. But hey, I think good things are coming for Almirola and DiBenedetto. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do. And all in all, it was, it was expected. Eventually it was going to happen. It is I hated it had to happen that late in the race, but hey, restart. Let's do it again. I actually completely forget about the second wreck. I forget how that one happened. Stenhouse. Yeah, that's how it happened. Enough said about that one. Then the third one. This one, I really was upset at Boyer because hey, that was 100% his fault. He did not have Michael McDowell cleared at all, and he just went right into him. I'm glad McDowell just turned him into the wall and did not get involved, and kudos to Michael McDowell for getting, I think, a fifth. I think that's where he finished, a fifth place finish, so that was awesome to see. Front Row Motorsports, one of my favorite teams, and great to see Michael McDowell get a good run, but oh my goodness, Clint Boyer, you did not need to do that. So, yeah. That pretty much took any chance away from anyone other than Denny Hamlin or Kyle Busch winning the race. And it came down to those two guys, and Denny Hamlin got the victory, and you know what? It was a very mediocre finish, but at least he didn't wreck the leader to win the race, and it's a very well-deserved win for Denny Hamlin. Hopefully it's the only one he gets all season. Yes, I'm a Chase Elliott fan. I still don't like him, but this one is well-deserved, and yeah, I definitely am happy for the whole Gibbs organization with the passing of J.D. Gibbs. That was a very fitting way to end the Daytona 500. But either way, I give the race 7 out of 10. The attrition at the end really it didn't help, but it was a lot better than everyone said it was going to be, and I kind of had a feeling it was going to be like that. I'm glad everybody was wrong, or most people were wrong about it being a single-file train. It was far from that. And I don't even really think what Jim France said to the drivers had anything to do with it either. Maybe a little bit, but it was the weather. I think the weather was one of the biggest factors when it comes to these races. It was a hot day down there in Daytona. The handling on those race cars wasn't the greatest, so that's why we saw what we saw, and they did a great job, put on a good show, and we'll have to see what Atlanta brings us next week. That's going to be a very interesting race. But either way, thank you guys very much for listening. This has been 9 Cents with Napa Fan. Full Throttle with Marty's coming up sometime this week. Go more in depth on the Daytona 500 and all the other races that happened during Speed Weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys later.